Hi, my name is Amy. I'm a mom of two.
Hey, I'm Lisa, and I am a mom of three, and we're going to talk to you today about how we have used lactation consultants, professionals,
Yes.
to help us get through the breastfeeding experience.
You go first.
Okay, so a couple things that I'm going to highlight are that I relied on a lactation consultant because my babies were considered premature. So when your babies come earlier, lactation consultants can give you so much help in terms of making your milk come in when your body might not regulate it if your baby's early, and just the schedule at which you want to nurse and pump. I would not have known any of these things had I not used a lactation consultant. A couple other things that have been lifesavers for me are seeking advice about cracked nipples and nipple pain and engorgement. I would not have lasted without the advice of a lactation consultant. So I was enduring pain, my nipples became cracked, open wounds, and I kept nursing through it, but I knew that I couldn't do it alone. And honestly, when I get engorged 3 times now, my boobs come up to here, they're like into my armpits, they're hard as rocks, it's terrible. And so without the remedies that a lactation consultant would give me, I don't know how I would have survived. And so I'm gonna give a couple tips here, but we are really just advocates for saying reach out for support.
Yeah.
So engorgement tips, heat and ice, make sure that you're massaging, hand expressing, and honestly, don't be afraid to pump to get rid of some of that engorgement. Cabbage leaves are also like my best friend in that process. Cracked nipples, I have a favorite nipple butter, but definitely use nipple cream, and there are some gel pads that you can use on nipples if they are not open wounds. And finally, I'm just gonna tell you, like, if you can let those babies breathe at all, like after a shower, like don't put clothes on, just get some air so that they can heal, that would be amazing.
Yeah. And so for me, I have on both my breastfeeding journeys worked with a lactation consultant both times. First time, similar to Lisa, I had the worst crater in my nipple, and I was just I honestly called at 3 a.m. My lactation consultant was like, I'm not gonna make, like, I
They
need
probably
to
get
come
the
in.
most calls in the middle of the
with
night.
like tearful voice. I'm like, I just couldn't do it anymore. So I got into her, and she was actually the first one to figure out that our first born Maxwell had tongue tie, so that was a reason that my nipple was really impacted. So that was the first time, and so we got on a good course. I would say like within 8 weeks we were in a much better spot. And then my second tray, the problem there was a huge oversupply, and it was like really intense. And so they got me on a schedule of like, okay, this is when we want you to feed, this is when we want you to pump, this is how we're gonna like down regulate this. So they've done it before. They have very specific tips, and what I always like to tell people is like, everyone is so individual.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
like to give each other advice is great, but like the lactation consultant can make a plan specifically for you.
And they're just so wonderful. I mean, they want you to be
Encouraging.
successful on
Yeah.
your journey, and so they are going to encourage you and help you along the way. So if you're looking for a lactation consultant, Aeroflow actually has a resource directory on their website, and it's a great way to search in your local area just a professional that you can get connected with. Some of them might see you in a clinic, some of them might talk to you over the phone, some of them might even come to your house. So whatever works for you,
Yep.
use the Aeroflow directory and get connected locally.
Yep.